Hello guys, my name is Balkrishna Srivastav and welcome to CodeWithBK. So before we begin, it is a request to please subscribe to my channel. So in this video, we solved question 71 to 75 of ISC Class 12 Computer Science set of competency practice questions. These are the last 5 questions. The remaining ones are already solved in separate videos. The link for those videos you can find in the description of this video. Right, and there's a separate playlist as well that contains videos to solutions to all the questions in this set of competency practice questions. Okay, so this is question 71, so take a minute and give this a reading. Okay, so you have to check if a number is automorphic number or not, and you have to print all the automorphic numbers between L and U. L is the lower limit, U is the upper limit, and also you have to count the number of automorphic numbers between L and U. Okay, so the class design is given. You are given the data members, class name, member functions. Okay, you also have to write a main method, okay, that takes input for lower and upper ranges and prints the output, something like this. Okay, so I'll also try to match the output just as the way it is given here, because whenever I solve IC questions, my objective is to match the output as closely as possible to that given in the requirement. Okay, so I'm going to write a class automorphic. Okay, data members are L and U, which are both integers. All right, and we also have a count, right, for the number of automorphic numbers between this range. Okay, then we have constructor and member functions. Constructor basically takes L and U, L and into U. Okay, so we set this dot L to L and this dot U to U. Okay, so usually what they do is that the name of these arguments, these formal parameters, is different from these data members. It could be something like LL, so you set this dot L to LL. Okay, in this case the name of these data members and these name of these arguments is exactly the same, so they are trying to check your concept about this. Okay, so make sure that you don't change this. Okay, keep it the same the way it is. Okay, even if you make this LL and then you make this LL, that is okay, technically that's okay, but try not to give the examiner any chance to deduct your marks. Okay, then we have boolean check. Count is supposed to be 0, okay, because count begins at 0. Initialize the data members. Then we have public boolean check, takes an integer and returns true if this is an automorphic number, otherwise it returns false. Okay, automorphic number if the square of the number ends with the same number, that is, in this case, if we find the square of say 5, okay, this is 25, so the last it ends with 5. Then again for 25 the square is 625, ends with 25, this is the original number. And similarly for 76 whole square you get 57776, ends with 76. Okay, how do we solve this is we have 5, okay, which is our n. Okay, we find the square of this in n square. Okay, say this is 25. We convert this to string. Okay, so this becomes this. We convert the square also to the string, so this becomes this. Then we use on this string the function ends with, and we pass this. Okay, so if this string, which is the square of the original number, ends with this particular string that contains the original number, then it is an automorphic number. Okay, so what we do is we simply first find the square of n, which is n into n. We find string nstr, which is blank plus n. We find string n square of nstr, okay, which is blank plus square of n. Okay, and then we simply return true if square of nstr dot ends with nstr, right? Okay, and that's it. Then we need to list all the numbers between L and U by calling check. Okay, so public void list. Okay, and your output has to be something like this. This is what they're expecting, so I'll try to match the output, right? So what you do is you first print this. Okay, sys out bit from L to U, so plus U plus. Okay, all right, then we print this, which is the header part. So I'm going to use system.out.printf, and I've already explained .printf in detail in a separate video. You can find the link of the video in the description of this video. So I say there is some space here as well, right? So I'm going to add some blank space %s, then %-10s for number, Then percent minus 10 as for square. Let me make this 15 for a little more space between number and square, and then I change a line. Okay, the first one is a blank string that will simply occupy, say, 8 spaces. Okay, then it is number and then square. So number and square. Okay, so we iterate from L to U. Okay, and if check this is an automorphic number, we need to print number, square, and increment the count. So I increment the count at the end, and count is declared here as the data member. I will print it exactly in the same formatted output. So this is going to be a blank, then number, which is RI, then square, which is plus I into I. Okay, and then finally print the frequency. Okay, this is out, frequency of automorphic numbers between plus L plus 2 plus U. Okay, plus count. Right, that's it, right? Automorphic check and list. Now we create an object. So I say automorphic equal to new. Okay, so you can simply pass 1 and 1000, and that should be okay, right? But I will also ask user to provide input for the ranges, because it is given in the requirement, it is given in the question. Okay, so scanner equal to new scanner system dot in. I'm going to prompt system.out.print, paste this exact same message. Okay, and I'll say int L is scanner dot next int. Okay, similarly I'm going to ask for the upper range. Move this to the next line, and then enter the upper limit int U, and I pass L and U. Okay, and before that I'll do scanner dot close. Okay, and then I say automorphic dot list. So it should provide me a list in this very exact way. Okay, all right, let me run this. So I'll say 1 and 1000. So 1, 5, 36, 25, 76, 376, 26, 25, and frequency 7 is correct. Okay, one more case, say 10 to say maybe 500. So 25, 76, 376 is okay. Okay, so this is your solution to question 71. Okay, moving on to question 72. So this is question 72. Take a minute and give this a reading. Okay, so you have to check if two words are anagrams or not. So anagrams are basically two words with the exact same set of letters, but they are arranged in a different way. For example, CAT and ACT. So cat has 1C, 1A, 1T. Similarly, ACT has 1A, 1C, 1T, but they are arranged in a different manner. So these are anagrams. Similarly, we have heart, earth, silent, and listen. Okay, so you're given class details. So I'm going to write class anagram. Okay, data members are S1 and S2 to store the two words in lowercase. Okay, then we have L1 and L2 for the number of characters in S1 and S2. Private int L1 and L2. Okay, constructor takes two strings S1 and S2, string S1 and S2. Again, the name of these formal parameters, these arguments, is exactly the same as the data member. So you have to use this. S1 is S1 and this dot S2 is S2. Okay, and we also initialized the members L1 and L2 because the job of the constructor is to provide initial starting values to the data members. L1 is this dot S1 dot length. Okay, you do S1 dot length or you do this dot S1 dot length is just same. Okay, S2. Okay, your constructor is done. Then we have public void sort char array C. Okay, so we sort this character array in ascending order using any sorting technique. So if they had not mentioned this sorting technique, so I could have done something like this. Arrays this. Okay, So java.util.arrays class has an inbuilt sort method for sorting an array of any primitive type. So this is a primitive type, so array of characters can be sorted by default in ascending order using this. Okay, but since they are saying using a sorting technique, then you'll have to write your own code. Okay, so I'm going to use bubble sort for int j I equal to 0, c dot length I plus plus, for int j equal to 0, j is less than c dot length minus 1, j plus plus, if c of j is greater than c of j plus 1, because this has to be sorted in ascending order, jth value cannot be greater than j plus 1th value. So we swap, we say char t is c of j, c of j is equal to c of j plus 1, c of j plus 1 is t, and this is sorting in ascending order, okay, using bubble sort. Okay, you can use selection, you can use insertion, whatever sort you're okay with. Okay, this method is done, right? Yeah. Then we have public boolean r anagram. That's the name of the function, right? Okay, char str1 char str2 takes two arrays. Okay, this red line, because I'm not returning anything, so I have to return false to get rid of this red line. Okay, so in this method, to check str and str anagrams of each other and return true or false. So two strings are anagrams if their characters, set of characters, sorted set of characters are the exact same array. What do I mean by this is, suppose if I have listen, okay, and silent, these are two words I have. Okay, when you convert this to a character array, it will be something like this. Okay, L I S T E N, and these are all characters, so within single inverted quotes. Okay, then you sort this, so the characters will be arranged in alphabetical order. So you get E first, then you get I, okay, then you get lowercase l, then you get N, then you get S, and then you get T. Okay, converting this string into an array of characters and then sorting this array. Similarly, when you convert this silent to an array of characters, you get S I L E N T, all characters. Okay, and when you sort this, okay, so we get the smallest ASCII value is in this case E, then I, then L, then N, then S, and then T. Okay, and these two arrays are exactly the same. Okay, so the sorted set of characters for both the strings are exactly the same. It means they are anagrams. Okay, all right, and that is how we need to check this. So these str1 and str2 are the two character arrays, and I will assume these are sorted. Okay, it is not mentioned here that these are sorted or not, but I will assume these are sorted. So if they are sorted, they just have to be checked for equality. So you can use arrays dot equal str1 and str2. Okay, all right, inbuilt method, or we can write our own check. We can say str1 dot length is not equal to str2 dot length. If the number of characters are not equal in the two strings, they are definitely not anagrams, I return false. Else, if the length is the same, I iterate both the arrays, okay, and I check if at any index I, their ith value is not the same. If str1 of I is not equal to str2 of I return false. Else I return true, that these are anagrams. Okay, assuming these are sorted. It does not say that they are sorted or not. You have to decide that you sort it in the check method or you sort it in this R anagram method. I'm going to sort arrays in check, and then I'm going to pass the sorted arrays. Okay, then we say, okay, the final method public void check. Okay, all right, to convert two strings into two character arrays, so we can say char str1 is s1 dot to char array, and similarly we can say about str2. Okay, now again this is using inbuilt method, but when we do this, then we are not using the value of L1 and L2 anywhere. Okay, there is a yellow underline, it means the value is not being used. Okay, so we have to some way use the value of L1 and L2. So you have to do not this, but something like this. Okay, you have to create an array and you have to populate it by using loops. You say new char L1, okay, and similarly new char L2. Okay, now we are using the values of L1 and L2. Okay, populate the array str1 from characters of string s1. Okay, similarly populate the characters str2 from characters of string s2. So I simply say for int I equal to 0, I is less than not s1 dot str1 dot length l1, because this is number of characters. I say str1 of I is s1 dot caret I. Okay, and similarly L2 and S2 str2 is S2 dot caret I. Okay, all right, sort these arrays. I'll say sort str1 and sort str2. Okay, we can optionally do the sorting here as well. Okay, when we don't assume these are sorted. So assuming these are not sorted, so we sort. Okay, so either here, obviously if you do sorting at both the places, it won't make a difference. Like you're just sorting an already sorted array, but you obviously don't repeat yourself. Okay, and then okay, we called check anagram, so we call the method. So if our anagram str1 str2, okay, I say sys out, the output is supposed to be earth and heart are anagram of each other. So s1 plus and plus s2 plus are anagram of each other, else I simply write a no statement, are not anagram of each other. Okay, all right, that's my class. I just need to input two words. Okay, create an object, so I'm going to write a scanner object to read input system dot in scanner dot close. Okay, prompting for the words and then creating an anagram object. So sys out, okay, enter first word. Okay, so string s1 is scanner dot next. Okay, and we use next and not next line because we just have to read a word. We don't have to read a string including white spaces. We just have to read a word which is not include a white space. We use next. Similarly, I can call for the second word and I will say s2. Okay, and that's the job of my scanner, which is done. Then I create an anagram object, anagram s1 and s2, and I call anagram dot check. Okay, so running this code, okay, and then I'm going to uncomment these commented parts and I'll show you the alternate ID also works. So I'll say cat and act. Okay, then I'll say silent and listen. Okay, then I'll say heart and earth. Okay, something for a no case, hello and hi. Okay, now what you can do is you can remove the sorting here. Okay, put this sorting here. Okay, and use return arrays dot equals and comment this part. Okay, using the inbuilt part. So I don't recommend using the inbuilt parts. Okay, you should write the entire code, otherwise you might lose marks. Okay, and I'll use this as well. I'll comment this out. Okay, so in this, converting strings to corresponding arrays and then just simply checking their anagram or not. In this method we sort. Okay, and sorting is simply calling arrays dot sort. Okay, this should work fine too. So act cat, okay, silent, listen, okay, then heart and earth. Okay, no case is going to be hello, hi, say maybe Java, C++. Okay, all right, going back to the way our code was, right? Okay, all right, checking it once again, ACT and CAT. Okay, so this is your solution to question 72. Moving on to question 73. So this is question 73. Take a minute and give this a reading. So this question is about recursion, and in this case you have to check if a number is a SPY number or not. And I recently remember doing a question on SPY number. Basically, the sum of digits should be equal to the product of digits in a number for it to be a SPY number. And we use recursion in this case. In the question that I saw, it was in ICSC paper, I guess, specimen paper or some practice problem, and they were using loops. Okay, so I'm going to write the class SPY. Okay, and it takes one data member in num. Okay, the constructor is SPY. Okay, takes in n. Okay, you set num to n. All right, that's it, right? Okay, so you have to write two recursive functions, one to find the sum of digits and one to find the product of digits, and then you write a check function in where you call sum of digits, product of digits to check if this is a SPY number or not. Okay, so public int sum of digits, okay, int I, okay, and public int product of digits, int I. Okay, so sum of digits is fairly straightforward, that if I is 0, I simply return 0, else I return, okay, the sum of the last digit which is going to be at the units place, which is I% 10, plus recurring with removing the last digit, we do I by 10. Okay, that's the sum. So if I have the example 1124, I want to find the sum, right? Okay, I call the function with 1124. So this is basically checking not equal to 0. So it returns 4, which is the last, plus recurring with 112, removing the last by doing by 10 integer division. So this returns a last digit plus f of 1 this returns 1 plus f of 1, this returns 1 plus f of 0. So when n is 0, we return 0. So this returns 0. So 1 plus 0 is 1. So this returns 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. This returns 2. 2 plus 2 is 4. This returns 4. So 4 plus 4 is 8. So for f1124, we get 8, which is the sum of the digits. For product, you say if I equal to 0, we return 0. Okay. If I equal to 1, okay, return 1. Else, if I is less than 10, that is, if I is a single digit, we return I as it is. Otherwise, we do the same thing, we just multiply in this case. Okay, last digit into the product of the remaining digits. Okay, that is if I have, say, f of 1124 to find the product. Okay, so it returns last digit into f of 112, last digit into f of 11, last digit into f of 1. So f of 1 for 1, I equal to 1 is going to return 1. So 1 into 1, this returns 1. So this gets 1, so 2 into 1 returns 2. This gets 2, 4 into 2 returns 8. The product is 8, which is correct. Okay, alright. And you see I equal to 0, return 0. I equal to 1, we return 1. I less than 10, return I. So we can club these three conditions into one single condition, which is this. Okay, and finally we have public void check, right? Public void check. Okay, so if sum of digits of num equal to product of digits of num, I print a num plus is a SPY number, else num is not a SPY number. Okay, all right. I create a SPY object, SPY equal to new SPY. Let's pass 1124 to begin with, and I say SPY dot check, right? Okay, running this for 1124. Oh, 1124 is a SPY number. Do we take input as well? We don't need to take input, right? Okay, just keep passing it to this object. So I'll say 33111. So 3 plus 3 plus 3 is 9, and 3 into 3 is 9. Okay, we can move this around. This should also be the same. Okay, so 1124, right? So 4211 should also give us the same. Okay, and 4121 should also give us the same SPY number. So this is your question 73. Okay, we defined a main method as well. Okay. All right, this is good. Okay, moving on to question 74. So take a minute and give this question a reading. Okay, so in this question we pass objects as argument. Okay, right, and you definitely get one question about this in your paper, in your theory paper. Okay, so we have to create a class sports. Okay, keeping the name of the class exactly as it is mentioned. Then we have this data member to store the height of the each player. You can take it int or double. I'm going to take it double. Even if you take int, that should be okay, right? Private double height single dimensional array. Yep, I do. Oh, that's an error. Then to store the name of the team. Okay, then we have private int n to store the number of total players. Okay, we have a default constructor. Okay, all right, so you can leave the array null, name blank and n0, do nothing here, or you can call the other parameterized constructor with some basic values, because it says with maximum 15 players. So when you are creating this object using a default constructor, you can create an array of 15. Okay, so what we can do here is either you can leave this blank or use this other constructor, public. Okay, so what this is doing is this is setting this dot n to n. This is creating an array of size n. Okay, and setting the team name as well. Okay, right, so you can call this other constructor by passing 15 and blank. Okay, or leave this as it is, either ways. Okay, all right, then we have public void fill height. Okay, so to enter height of all players, so we'll have to take input from the user, and we'll be using multiple objects. So I'm going to create a static scanner object so that all objects can access this same copy of the scanner object. All right, that is, all objects of this class sports should have one single copy of this scanner, because you just need one copy of scanner to reach input from the user, and all the objects should be able to use this. Okay, so for fill height, I'm going to ask to enter n heights. So sys out enter heights of players. Okay, right, for int I equal to 0, I less than n, I plus plus, sys out enter height of player plus I plus 1, print, right, this should be println, this should be print, and I say double h is scanner dot next double, and I say height of ith location is this value h. Okay, filling the height. Then we have double average height to calculate the average height. So public double average height. Okay, so average height is basically the sum of all height divided by number of height, which is sum by n. So I'll say double total heights is 0 for double h in height. Using a for each loop, I say total heights plus equal to h, and I return total heights by n. Okay, finally we have this string compare. So public string compare sports s1 and sports s2, right? Okay, so it takes two objects to compare the average height of both the teams and return the name of the team with the higher average height. Okay, so we can simply say if s1 dot average height is greater than s2 dot average height. Okay, we have to return the name of the team with a higher average height, so I return the name of the team 1, which is s1 dot name. Okay, else if average height of s2 is greater than, that is s1 dot height is less than s2 dot average height, we return the name of s2 dot name. Okay, else when the average heights are equal, okay, so comparison of two numbers is greater than, less than and equal to, we return this message. Right? Okay, so you can also choose to return a string like the height of this team is greater than the other team, but I'm simply returning the team name because that is the part of the requirement. Okay, simply return the name of the team. All right, no extra text. And finally public void display string msg message. Okay, so display the name of the team with the higher average height stored in message. Okay, I guess you just have to print this message, right? Nothing else, right? That's it, right? Because this is returning a message and this is simply printing the message. There is no processing that needs to be done in display, right? Okay, you also have to create a main and create an object. Okay, so I'm going to create two sports objects. Okay, s1 equal to new sports, and I'm going to pass 4 players. I'll say team A is say T1. Okay, and I'll say s2 is new sports T2. Okay, s1 dot fill height. Okay, change a line. s2 dot fill height. All right, change a line. Okay, and then you can call display using any object. s1 dot display I'll use, and I'll call compare s1 dot compare s1 and s2. You can also do s2 dot compare. You can also do s2 dot display. You can also do s1 dot compare. Either will work. Okay, it is the same because the display function is just printing out a line. So calling the display is simply just equivalently saying that you're just printing out a statement on the output, and the statement that you're supposed to print is the return value of dot compare. Okay, so you call s1 dot compare, s2 dot compare. You are anyways passing s1 and s2, right? So it does not matter. So yep, that's it. Anything else? Oh no, next question starts. So let me just run this. So I'll say, okay, I'll enter random values. They're not actually height 6, 7, 8 and 9, and I'll say these people are short. Okay, so T1 has more average height, obviously 6, 7, 8, 9, 1, 2, 3, 4. Similarly, I can do the reverse 2, 3, 4, and I'll say 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, the first one has 34, so other one has to have 70. So T2 now. Okay, so this is your solution to question 74. Moving on to question 75, and this is the last question of this PDF. The answer key starts after this, and take a minute, give this a reading. Okay, so this is a question about 2D arrays, and you have to actually use insertion sort to sort the rows, okay, in ascending or descending order. So if we have odd rows, they are sorted in descending order. If we have even rows, they are sorted in ascending order. Okay, so if this is the input 2D array, okay, so this is the first row, second row, third row. The first row is sorted in descending order, then the second row is sorted in ascending order, then the third row is sorted in descending order, and so on for the number of rows, whatever number of rows. Okay, and for them, row number 1 is actually index row 0, right? So but they are considering it row number 1, which is odd. That is why it is descending order. Okay, not 0. If you consider it 0, it becomes even, and then you have to sort it in ascending order, which is wrong. Okay, so understanding the question in simple words, the order in which you need to sort the rows are descending, ascending, descending, ascending, descending, ascending, as long as possible for all the rows. Okay, all right, and we use obviously insertion sorts. If you don't know insertion sort, you might lose marks because then you start using some other sort. Okay, so I'm going to start writing the class mix sort. That's the name of the class, right? Class mix sort. Okay, we need a 2D array int a. Okay, and number of rows and number of columns, private int m and n. Okay, number of rows, number of columns, the constructor that takes int row, int call. Okay, m is row, n is call, and you also have to create the 2D array, new int m rows and n columns. Okay, provide memory to the array. Okay, initialize memory to the array. Okay, so that's my constructor, right? Allocate memory as well. Okay, public void input, enter elements into this 2D array, right? Need a scanner object. Okay, you can make this scanner object static if you want. I'm going to keep it within this class because this is the only one mix sort object I need to create. Okay, so sys out enter elements integers basically for plus m plus into plus n plus 2D array. Okay, enter integer elements, and then you iterate equal to 0, I less than m, I plus plus, for int j equal to 0, j is less than n, j plus plus. Okay, 0 to m, j0 to n, we say a of ij is scanner dot next int. Okay, my input is done as well. Okay, now you have to write these functions to arrange elements in ascending and descending order using insertion sort technique only. So public, this is void. Okay, this is the descending one. Okay, public void for ascending one. Okay, so for I equal to 1, I less than n, I plus plus, int k is x of I because the array is x, in j equal to I minus 1, j greater than or equal to 0, and x of j is greater than k. So insertion sort is basically you're trying to insert the element as left as possible, okay, to keep it in this ascending order. We say x of j plus 1 is x of j and j minus minus, okay, and x of j plus 1 is now key. Okay, and for descending you just have to change the comparison to less than here. Okay, so your ascending even, descending odd is okay. So this even odd, I don't know why it is there in the function name. You just have to sort it in ascending order and descending order. So sorting x in ascending order using insertion sort. Similarly, sorting x in descending order using insertion order. That's it. Okay, the next method is arrange. So public void arrange. Okay, takes any parameters? No. Now you have to arrange the rows in even position ascending or positions in descending using, okay, functions. First row descending, next row ascending, next then descending, then ascending. So descending and ascending is the order. So you start with descending equal to true and you iterate all the rows of this 2D array. So if you have to sort it in descending order, you pass this ith row and sort it in descending order. This is m is number of rows. So you say descending odd, okay, for the first row is, and you pass this row, you simply pass a of I. Else you say ascending even a of I. Okay, you can pass the row as it is and whatever changes are made to the row are reflected back in the original row because you are passing the original same array. Okay, so you can treat each row as a separate array, right? And then you say descending is not descending. Okay, so descending, which is true, which becomes then false, so happens in ascending, which again becomes true, then happens in then descending happens, and then so on. Okay, and then the final function is display. So public void display. Okay, original and arranged array. Okay, sys out original array. Okay, so we can write a private helper to print the 2D array, but I'm gonna just write the statements. Okay, repeat the statements. I'm simply gonna say, okay, sys out printf percent minus 4d and a of I comma j, sys out change line. Okay, this is my original array. Okay, and then I sort this, I say arrange. Okay, and then I print the sorted array. Okay, same thing. All right, this should be fine now. Oh, my eye hurts now. I've been doing this for very long now. I need to take a break. Okay, I guess that is it. We need to create an object called functions. That's it. So I create a mix sort equal to new row and column. How many rows and how many columns do we have in a sample? 3 rows and 4 columns. 3 rows and 4 columns. I say mix sort dot we have to input first, and then we simply can do display, right, because it will call arrange, right? So I can do mix sort dot display, right? Let me run this. Okay, so the values are 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4, then we have 9876 then we have 4 5 6 7. So first row is in descending order 4 3 2 1, which is okay. Then ascending order, which is okay. So you can do before sort, after sort. So you can say before sort, okay, and you can say after sort, okay, and you can copy this, paste this again, right? Before sort and then after sort, 7654. Okay, let me try with a separate different set of values, say 100, 76, 4 and 58, 97, 38, 55, 62, 46, 32, 87, 76. So descending, ascending and descending, and this is correct. So this is your code 2 question 75. So this was the last question, and we are done with the set of competency practice questions. And I guess this is enough before your IC exams. I will try to add a few more videos, and after that I'll just solve the paper, and maybe, and I don't think I'll be adding any more IC video anytime soon. Probably by the end of this year, because there's already plenty IC content. I'll be moving on to something else for college students and professionals, right? I get a lot of requests. I need to try and add as much as content possible for that as well. All right, so if you have any doubts, there's a part you don't understand, please let me in the comments. If there is any other coding, Java, C++, C Sharp, Python, JavaScript, anything, Go, anything you want, just let me know in the comments. I'll try to add a video, explain it. Anything regarding to data structures, algorithms, you can always ask. Any web framework that you want to discuss, please let me know. Okay, all right then, guys, all the best. And this was the video. I hope this was helpful and you like this video. So please like this video, subscribe to my channel, and thank you for watching.